Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, and there has been some changes, but we are back, and we will be uploading much more consistently. The channel will also be switching to the VTuber model that you guys see here before you now. That way I can give you some more distinctive channel elements as well as, some enhanced engagement. Another thing, we'll also be adding some more content. We're also going to be doing some art tutorials. Don't worry, however, there will be a good mix of the original content that we were previously doing and the art content to come. So moving forward though, today we are actually going to be going to show you how to add backgrounds using stock photos right here in Procreate. So let's get right into it. When it comes to taking stock photos and adding them to your artwork to make backgrounds for your pieces, there are 4 steps. Now, the first step is going to be selecting the perfect stock photos that match your artwork and what you're thinking. I'll be honest with you, and this is a pretty big disclaimer, you're going to want to plan as much as possible. And by that, what I mean is you're going to want to know what photo you're using and what character you're using and how you're going to even want to draw that character for the photo for the best outcome. Just to give you guys like a rough example though, I'm going to be using something old, like something I already drew, and taking a stock photo so that way you guys can see basically the worst something like this can come out. But when you guys plan it out properly and actually use your own characters and take stock photos and plan it out from the beginning with it, it'll come out much better. But the first thing that you're going to do is you guys are going to find some stock photos. Now, I like Unsplash, Shutterstock, and Pixabay. Personally, I actually use Pixabay a lot, so that's where we're going to go. Another good one is unsplash.com. And depending on what you're looking for, you can basically search anything in the search bar. I'm looking for cityscapes though. Alright, now once you found the right photos, you're going to be hopping right into Procreate. As I said, I'm going to be using one of my old original characters. She doesn't even have a name, but we're going to hop right into Procreate for it. Now, another thing that I made sure to do was I made sure to give the canvas a lot of space. Since you're adding a background, you want a bunch of space to see that beautiful background that you're going to be adding. Now, step 2 is actually going to be manipulating the photos and making sure everything is on top of each other in the correct way. Pause. So you got your original character here or whatever artwork that you're going to be using here. Now, the next thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding the stock photo that you just got. Okay, now we're gonna add it and make sure we size it right. Okay, now she looks a little too large on the canvas, so I'm gonna change her size a little bit. Okay, now once you get her perfectly centered, you're ready for step 3. Okay, now step 3 is adding effects to both the photo and your character to make them blend and look like they're from the same artwork. This goes really depending on your style. I draw more in hard lines, sketch style. I guess I'm very comic inspired, so a lot of times for me, I usually use lots of grays and I tend to use a lot of halftones. So I'm gonna show you guys what I would do for something like this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the stock image that you originally got. Now on the top layer, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the adjustments layer. And the reason that I decided to do these on Procreate, I actually know how to use Photoshop, but Procreate is almost the how to, art for dummies, digital art for dummies almost. And I feel that if you can understand how to do it in Procreate, there's definitely a way to understand it and do it in more complex programs like Photoshop, Clip Studio, Krita, all those other ones. But basically, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to saturation and you're going to drop that to 0 and you're going to make it a grayscale. Then you're going to go back to this same layer and you're going to make it, depending on what the layer is, you're going to either make it a lighten layer or a screen layer. You'll find out why later. Now back to your original layer, you're going to go down to the one that still has the colors on it. You're going to duplicate that one again. Now here, this is where you're actually going to be changing it up a bit. You're going to be going down to the colors and you're going to be adjusting them. I like blue in my colors. Yeah, I think blue really stands out. I think it depends on the piece and also the colors of your artwork itself. But for this one, we're going to be shifting it, I'll say, to blue and green. So you're going to go to color balance. You're going to shift the photo subtly blue. See, it's almost like it's balancing out the colors. Now I wouldn't touch the cyan or the red. Reason being is because she already has a decent amount of blue in her, so you don't want to conflict with that. Now once you're done with that, you're gonna change this layer. That way those colors are a little bit more prominent. Now the next thing that you're actually going to do is you're going to start getting into the filters and adding some of those effects like we started talking about. As I said, for this one, I like to do a lot of the comic styles, so we're going to be doing halftones. Now, making sure that you're on the middle layer, I'm going to add some halftones here. And always remember that you can always shift the opacity of any of the layers that way to make it look a little better or worse. Now, for example, I feel like the colors are coming out a bit too much, so I'm going to shift this one down a bit. Same with this one. Now, what you're going to do to your character is you're actually going to basically do the exact same thing. So you're going to take your character, you're going to duplicate it. You're going to go to the top one. You're going to make this one your black and white. Then you're going to turn this top layer into a lighten layer or a screen layer. I feel like for this one, lighten works a bit better. Now you're going to duplicate this layer again. And you're gonna shift the colors. This is where it gets a little tricky. As I said, I was gonna try and shift the colors here to cyan and green. However, she has a lot of cyan already because her hair is blue and that's a bit of her color scheme. So we're gonna basically just eyeball it here and see what works better and blends best with the scene. Yeah, so for example, it seems like the yellow is blending well, and let's decrease some of the yellow. Then keep going on the cyan. Perfect. Now the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're also going to be changing the layers as well. Now this layer, I feel like it doesn't work best as a darken. I think a linear burn actually fits it best. That makes it match a little well. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to go in to the halftones for this layer, making sure that it's on the second one. You never want to touch that top one. So go back into it and add the halftones for this too. Now, once you got the halftones in, you may notice some discoloration. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that one in step 4. Okay guys, and now the last step is to add some finishing touches. Now the one thing that's really bothering me and that can really help with making a piece look more realistic and more together is shadows. So that's what we're gonna add. Now we're gonna use our color picker tool and I don't know where it is. And we're gonna use one of the dark colors that we already have in the piece instead of making one of our own and trying to match it. So we're gonna find a different layer, one under the second layer of the character. We're gonna start going in with the shadows. Now, I know it looks a little rough around the edges there, but the one great thing about shadows is using different layer and blending options. You can usually fix them pretty easily. Okay, much better now that we added a shadow. Now, as I said, these look a lot better when you plan them out from the beginning to the end. But as you can see, with just a couple of changes, you can take any stock photo, well, one that works for your purposes, and one of your old characters and make a new piece. But yeah, that's all for the tutorial today, guys. Thank you guys for coming to the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. And just like that, in Procreate, all on your iPad, you can make amazing artwork using stock photos. So please tune in for more tutorials and other content next time. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.